Hello. Hey, this is Lynn with Real and Raw, and you are not
Brian,
home.
thank you for
Hey.
noticing.
So
I
is this
wasn't used to.
the kind of setup we have today?
Yep.
Yeah.
I I kept the same devices. I kept the same box in the binder, and I got my little slips for our show. So yeah.
Oh my goodness. I want to welcome
Well,
everybody to the
one of the lessons, a professional is always ready. So here we go.
Yep, and the show must go on, right? Those are the things, absolutely. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to take a minute and make some announcements here really quick. And the first announcement I want to make is somebody that is part of our Grow Live Academy, Weldon. He needed a liver transplant, and he has a donor. And today they're making that happen. So if you would keep him in your prayers that everything goes well, we would certainly appreciate that. We sent him, um, speedy recovery, and I'm just so grateful that he has a donor. I mean, like, I'm just so grateful for that. I'm sure you feel the same about that one, Brian. And then, go ahead.
I've never met him before, but I mean, I've never
He's
met him before. I've never interacted with him or whatever, so I don't know him. But obviously, anybody that is, that I'm surrounding, obviously, their wellness is important. So
Yeah, I don't know Weldon either, but like I said, he's one of our family members on our Grow Live Academy. So of course we're going to wish him well, and so thank you for just
yeah,
keeping him in his prayers while he goes through this liver transplant. And so the other thing I wanted to mention to you, Brian, is that being part of the Los Angeles Tribune now, we've been on the Clubhouse, and we got 10 people that pitched their stories and their business and their ventures and all that, and I'm going to get to interview them next week. And so I'm super excited that I'm going to have some really cool people there. So I just wanted to make mention of that. And so some of them will probably be watching us today, and that'll be nice if I get to see them on here. But I'm truly excited about our show today, because what we're talking about, we've been talking the whole week about evolving. And Brian had a couple topics at the beginning of the week, and I just decided yesterday, to talk about why is manifesting your life. That was yesterday. And so today is why you should start to manifesting or creating your life, and how important it is to realize it's a good topic. It's a good topic to talk about. And this is one of my pitch winners. Aaron,
cool.
thank you for being here.
Aaron,
Thank you.
thanks for being here.
Yeah, we look forward to having you here. So, which again, it's really exciting, is this girl's story, and the fact that everything she created and wanted is now coming to fruition for her. So I'm sure she can put little things in there too that'll be amazing to share with the audience. So, Brian?
What was your thought process for today's topic, and breaking it up and whatnot?
I was thinking that the fact that we do spend so much time talking about the past, and we're stuck in looking at it the same way and telling our story, and finally just like, okay, get away from your story, but from the tools, from what you've been through, let's take that and recreate it and have a different perspective, and have like repurposing your life to what your life was at, to where you want your life to go. I mean, like, that gets me excited. I mean, I don't care. It could be now all of a sudden having such a shitty, badass life gives you credence to say, wait a second, I went through all that. Now I can help somebody that's going through that. And you can have an impact on somebody, but you can also move yourself from being a victim to a conqueror into what life can be for you now. So
Yeah. I think I think one of the fundamental things here is that whether it's through therapy or whether it's through struggle, or training of some kind where you're training your brain and getting rid of the past, none of what we're about to talk about is going to help anybody unless you're ready to get rid of the past or unless you're on that journey. None of this is going to make any difference because it's from a place of nothing. And the only way you can be at a place of nothing is when nothing is in your future, right? And I just have to throw that out there because if you have junk and then you want to get rid of the junk, but then you're looking out, it's like, I'm sorry, but that junk follows you until it's complete, until you said what you had to say to those people, until you came to grips with, like what we talked about in previous shows, what happened? What did I make it mean? Right? Until you're clear on those things in your life and just being able to let them go and put them in your past, it's kind of like walking around with a grocery cart attached to you, right? Or you're attached to a table. Think of everything like that because it's like shackles on you. And so I have to point that out there because if you're kind of tussling between like, I want to create my life and I want to go at it from a blank canvas, if there's anything on your canvas, you're not clear about it, right? You're not able to create from nothing because there's things that are not complete in your life. And guess what? When they're still in your life, they're like blinders to what your life can be.
You remind me, it's like the clutter thing that we talked about. Give away, throw away,
Yep.
Put away, throw away, give away, or whatever it was,
Keep, get rid of, donate. Yeah.
Yep. And so that's what you need to do with the things in your life. What are you going to keep that were value near and dear to you? What are you going to give away to the world to help them? And then throw away what doesn't serve you no more. I mean, like,
right.
So
it's kind of, if you look at your life like a road that needs to be repaved. I mean, there's a lot of visuals that can speak to what we're talking about today. But if you look at like a road that has been repaved and it's got potholes and whatever, consider that may be your life. Consider, right? And it's like the only way, can you take out a section of the road and repave it to make it smooth and all of that? Sure. But what is it doing for the rest of the road, right? What is it doing for all facets of your life? And so the only way to actually get down and recreate the road, so that'd be your life, let's say, is to get down to the bare minimum. You grade it, you start from scratch, and eventually you have a new road. There is no other option if you are committed to doing it. If you want to have an open road, like if you look at, a road with nobody on it, if that is your brain and that is your life, that's the only way you can do this.
And remember,
you cannot do it if you have any remnants of the past in your life.
Right. And remember that that road you're paving, is that taking you from like Montana to New York? Good example, or whatever, wherever you got to go, you got to know where's your final destination.
Right.
And
what does it all happen overnight? Absolutely not. No. There's a certain body of training that I've been doing ever since 2009, and it allows you to get rid of your past, allows you to leave that back there, right? What happened and what did I make it mean, right? Say the necessary things, acknowledge the certain things to people that you may have wronged, whatever that is. Anything that is holding you back from not being free in your life, do the work to get yourself free of that, right?
Right.
Being vulnerable is one of the biggest things you'll have to be. If you wrong somebody, man up to it, move on.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you what, there is much more at stake by not doing it than there is by doing it.
Yeah. And if you definitely want if you want people to see who the new person you are, let's say you were the shittiest person. Yes, freedom, Aaron. Absolutely. If you had, I don't care what the past is, think of the most horrible thing right now, which I don't like to give people that vision, but think of the fact that as you're going, be the person, be vulnerable and say, you know what, Brian, I'm so sorry. I wish you the best. I was so wrong, blah, blah, blah. Move on, move on, move on. And it also meant you. It means you to be the bigger person. It means you to say, I've said what I could say. you know, like I said, I've got family members of mine that don't talk to me because I was such an angry person. But I'm not that person no more. And they're determined to think that nobody can change. See, if most of us would take time and change and show that they've changed, then when people are changing, it wouldn't be so hard to believe that people can change.
Well, I would even make it more granular that we show the vulnerability of our humanity.
Yeah.
We are going to make
Absolutely.
mistakes in life, but the minute that you start covering it up or you make excuses or blame, which we've talked about several times on the show,
Mhm.
it makes it worse because you're deflecting it. You're not doing anything about it.
Right.
We all have
Right.
junk in our life. We all have things that we've overcame to get where we are. But the difference is like, do you take ownership of it or do you make excuses? You know, and
Absolutely.
we've shared that many times on the show, but all of these things are just, you know, because in every moment you're either living in your past, but it's really, but nothing is present in front of you because it's just regurgitated past. That's all it is. Or
It,
if you complete everything from your past, you get to create whatever's there and you get to have a say in the matter in every moment.
yeah, and that's a true blessing, and I think that's why I felt so oh, and there's Sandy. Hi, Sandy.
Sandy's here.
And so,
Ray's
you
here
know,
too. Our buddy Ray's here too.
yes. Hi, Ray. Hi, Ray. Oh, Michelle's here. She's one of my pitch winners.
So Michelle says people step into their true self and realize that's who they are. That's what changed. Love your authenticity, Lynn. Yep.
Oh, thank you. But you know, it really is when you can realize, you know, that all our poop stinks, you know, and you know, that's speaking of that, yesterday I thought I had smell-o-vision going on here and I thought my dogs did an accident, but thank God it was just a fart. I'd never been happy to hear about a fart. So anyways, I don't know how I went from that to that, but oh, Michelle, she's one of our new pitchers, and she loves us both already, and we love you. So feel free to share this out. We
Wow.
really
Thank you,
appreciate
Michelle.
that. Oh, you know, well, I tell you what, Brian, your ass needs to get to the clubhouse. You already have a personal invitation, but these people are amazing, and I'm really super glad to bring them, you know, outside of clubhouse to spend time with us here. That's really great. But seriously,
There's one thing, and I mean, let's look at it this way. Let's say that you have a situation with somebody that's incomplete from your past, right? And it's just nagging at you. You can't sleep at night. You don't know how you're going to acknowledge this person, how you're going to complete it, and for them to perceive you as authentic and real. And it's like, if you find a way to do it and you eventually do it, when you actually do it, the person doesn't even remember it, right? Or it didn't affect them like you did. And it's like, okay, so you conjured up all these feelings, right? And it's like, okay, in that very moment, you get to move on from it. Now,
right.
Is it wrong that other person doesn't feel anything? No, you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you. Because if they don't have any attachment to it, they've already moved on. But it stayed with you for so long. And how many people in life, all of our viewers and anybody that catches the replay of this, how much of your life are you going to are you going to have wrapped up in things that are controlling you and not allowing you to be free and peaceful?
Yeah, it's so, you know, monumental.
If you have things that are already written in your life, it's, man, you have no say in the matter, right? But if you're creating your life, you are the navigator of it every day, every moment, and you have the keys to that. It's your choice, you know.
And that's why we are so, I'm so happy talking about this, is because people just need to realize you need to have a starting point. And the starting point is admitting things that are not going right in your life. And what are you doing about it today? And you're not being hurt by those things that hurt you in the past. When you realize that you're released from those things, you just haven't released the connections to that point, those traumatic situations. And basically, this is why it was just important to talk about, let's create what you do want. Let's create, where are you now, right now? You know, I mean, it's just like when you give birth to a child. You know, my oldest is 32 years old. Shoot, she's going to be 32 this year. I'm not pushing her age, but do I sit there and say, oh my gosh, I remember all those times pushing and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Like, no, let it go. She's my firstborn, blah, blah, blah. You know, it really is you know, I'm not going to sit there and talk to her about when she was born 32 years later, you know, on her birthday. It's like, it doesn't matter. She's here, you know? And so.
Well, and it's like, if we look at every day like a painting, I'm just filled with visuals because I'm a visual person, right?
Me too.
And so if you look at every day like a painting, how do you want it to look?
Exactly.
You have the choice. You know, you have the choice every day to paint it however you want. And
absolutely,
what does not get in the way because you're complete from the past is you can't do those things or whatever. You're always in a state of challenge. You're always in a state of, ooh, how can I extend my potential, right? How much love can I put on the world? How much can I help people? How much creativity can come out of my brain and out of my heart? Those are great places to be in because it's an untapped resource, right? And it's like to be in full control of that without any people sidetracking you, that it's like, oh, well, that's not right, or, you know, you can't do that. It's like you're free of that because you're not constrained by it anymore. If you're creating your life, you're not constrained by any of it. So yeah. Thanks, Ray.
So
he's in
a
yes mood today. He's in a
mood. Oh, and he brought this up earlier. Or no, not him. I'm sorry, not that message. Where did it go? He's like, oh, and ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow's booty talk with Brian. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. You guys gotta just.
That's a callback from yesterday. Michelle and our other
Aaron and
guests today, our other viewers that were not with us from Clubhouse. That was a callback to yesterday's show about booty talk on Friday.
Yeah. So, we're gonna have an improv tomorrow, and we have a special guest with us, and I have a way of having my own vocabulary, so he calls them Lynnisms, and so we take those and then different, and then the different key phrase words. Oh my gosh, so far, we got a bag full of different words that we could have come up with again, and it's, you know, talking. Actually, this week has been about evolving, and I should have put that on there and I didn't, but it's really so let's see. I have a question about Clubhouse. Well, I'll be happy to answer that some other time or whatever. But as far as the creating your life, it truly is. It's an amazing thing when you give yourself permission to say, okay, let's start something new. I mean, you don't need to be perfect at anything. You just need to start. I mean, Brian and I started the show January 1st, and every day I think we end up leaving at the end of the show and go, gosh, we love the show. Like, we love what we're doing. We love what we're creating. We love what we're sharing with people. And we just want to shake you guys' thoughts and make you think for yourself. And Brian? Oh, he might have been frozen on me. I think he's frozen. He's frozen in time. Oh no. But being present and creating. Go ahead. Oh, you're breaking up, Brian. He's frozen. He's frozen in time. But again, you see, you just move on and you just get out of, you see, now he's gone. Oh, now he's back. You were saying, Brian?
So.
Oh, I don't know. Brian will get, his speed will get up with us. Somebody said the booty call got.
Wow, Michelle, kudos to you. Big bump here, right there.
That's impromptu.
That was perfect timing, Michelle.
Oh, you're right. Don't make me turn red, you guys.
Well, we're testing how fast. So let's make this a daily challenge, and this is going to go on record that backstage is the quickest amount of time I made Lynn blush and just be like a tomato on her face. So if we can get the audience to do that, I can help, but I'd rather have it be all of you guiding that process. let's put a challenge out there to say, you know, I'll have a timer set up to see how quick we can make Lynn blush in future episodes. So,
Oh
as I had connection issues and Lynn held down the fort, is that as of January 1st, our first show, which you can't see behind her camera, that's the first time she put booze bottles behind her camera, starting January 1st. So, just want to let everybody know.
Hey, we are raw and real and very vulnerable here. So, Leanne, oh gosh, you haven't seen me. Sometimes I can't stop laughing. That's right, Michelle. She's a new viewer here. It's just,
man, if we put on that video and we taped it backstage of you just letting her rip like before, oh my gosh, that.
Yeah, you know, and again, this is about creating fun for you guys. We don't just sit here and talk and want to be a boring show. We say everything off the cuff. We say things just to get you going. You never know what we're going to say or what we're going to do or how we're going to act.
Lynn has booze bottles in front of her. I have a box and a binder. I have no notes. So we each got stuff in front of us that we don't know what each other's going to say, but we're harmonizing and sharing some good stuff for all of you.
And that's why we love this. It's just organically being real and making you guys think. And I just love the way you guys also, and then you guys add to the mix.
Yep.
We just love it. I mean, we love our like the Seahawks have the audience as their 12th man.
We got that.
Yeah, we've got our third part of this act is you guys. You're the third act. Well, first class in our book.
Well, and here's the thing is that like Tracy, who's a loyal listener of ours, is that how we helped, you know, her with her son and all of that. And it's like those success stories by just sharing our life experiences. We're going through stuff just like all of you. But
right.
If we can have a community where nobody has all the answers. We're navigating life the best we know how, right? And so if we can take our experiences, as painful and as heartbreaking as they were, about whatever it is, and share them with you to help you, man, that I don't want to speak for Lynn, but I will, is that gives our heart so much love.
And it does, between Brian and I and what we've done to get where we're at. And I mean, Brian's been very vulnerable about his past relationships. And I mean, this is a guy here that went to therapy with his girlfriend at that time for a relationship that he tried to do the best he could. I'm not knocking guys, so don't get me wrong, but it's not too often a couple are willing to, I mean, they're not even married, but to be able to go couple relationship, you know, before it's just amazing. It's so vulnerable. It's so cool to say that, it's just so cool to say that we're being transparent and we're saying we're not perfect, but we're showing up. And if our vulnerability helps somebody in some way, you know, our mission is accomplished here.
Yeah, I'm forever a transformed person. You know, is that I'll be vulnerable every day. And it's like in 2019, or maybe 20, is that though I wanted to challenge myself to be how vulnerable and how transparent can I be in my life? Because there's no limitations to that, right? And so to continue to be, you know, to continue to put myself in uncomfortable situations.
Yeah.
So then it's like my world is completely uncomfortable, which is great, you know, because I'm always pushing. And if I fail, well, yeah, that's what happens when you're trying to do big things, right? But you become immune to it after a while and you keep going, you know?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I mean, the whole therapy thing, yeah, that was, you know, but that was you know, somewhere in my, you know, because I have a degree in psychology, is that like, you know, there was a story about, you know, going to counseling and therapy. And it's like, not anymore. You know, if you're willing to be vulnerable, you find out things about people that are just like you.
Yeah,
but if you're not vulnerable, they're not going to be vulnerable with you. And sure enough, after I started telling people that I'm doing EMDR therapy and I'm seeing a therapist twice a month about my issues and anxiety and depression, they're like, wow, I go to a therapist too.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. I know, right? I mean, that's what's important is more people share their life's experiences and not feel shame by it. Like I said, man, I didn't tell people. I had a few stunts, back in 96 with the psych ward, and mostly it was my ex-husband telling him I was nuts. That didn't help. But then the psychiatrists say you're not. But the psychiatrists are saying you're married to somebody who's driving you crazy. I mean, but it was also good to know that. And yet they knew that I couldn't get him in there. And unfortunately, this guy that thought he could just tell my kids that he could get me in the psych ward ended up 3 years in the psych ward himself. Right. So, I mean, and I don't put laundry out there for anything except that, it just, I don't know why I carried that shame, except that I just didn't want that label so that everybody else saw that, gee, don't talk to her. She's just too weird, But it truly is. Ray, thank you for saying that.
Yeah,
you're both beautiful souls and spot on. It just, you got to love people for their flaws because we all have flaws. And I'm trying not to say it with my Long Island accent, but we all have flaws. Flaws. There's flaws. That's how, I say it, flaws. Because.
Oh, boy. Just, flaws and because.
Yeah, flaws because we all are flaws.
Wow, that's a great twofer right there. Flaws because.
Oh, there we go.
We
got
words.
You see, this is how we get words, people, for tomorrow. And then it's almost like getting, it's just.
Long Island style.
Yeah, Long Island style. So you see, okay, so you're talking at a girl that was 5 years of my life. First, I spoke Spanish, and then I went to school, and I was in Long Island for 12 years. So I had a heavy accent, and then I moved to Syracuse, and they picked on me for having the Long Island accent, which comes out when I'm talking to Brian every now and then. And so, again, me being vulnerable is something else. It's made my life very interesting, to say the least, but I'm coming to accept it. And we're getting lots of messages here. Went to school in New York, Long Island. That's where cool. I was in Long Island. Yep.
That's cool.
She loved my accent. Well, I hid it for so long because it ended up being the conversation. So,
hey, Michelle, if you're able to join us tomorrow, it'll get better when we embarrass ourselves on purpose. So, join us
hopefully you can come back tomorrow. But she loved that. She gave us some hearts. We love hearts. Yeah,
maybe we should do a show all like Long Island. Boy, wouldn't that be cool?
No, I don't know about that. but what's really funny is the time that my mom was gone out of my life and my dad had us full time, and my dad used to just beat the heck out of me when, out of anger. And I have a good relationship with my dad now, but that's when it was. And at 15, I said I couldn't stand it no more. And a friend of mine's mom took me in for 3 months. I was a very, very angry girl. And I finally ended up going back to my dad's house. But, somebody could love me when I was very angry and not lovable back then. And I'm just grateful, it's those people that have taken time to see my light and see who I was worth when everyone else was labeling me that I wasn't worth it and different things. And I'll tell you what, be that person that makes a difference in somebody's life, because I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for so many people. So the girl where I stayed after I was 15 years old and living in the house there, mind you, this is 3 years after moving from Long Island, right? So I had the heavy accent. Well, the girl that lived there, she loved my accent so much. She used to mimic me, right? And so she ended up with the Long Island accent. And it's funny because I seen her 2 years ago. And she goes, everybody always asks me where I got my accent. She goes, I didn't realize I got it from you. You used to sit there and like verbatim mimic me. And so I should have her on the show sometime because she has mimicked my talk. Like you would think she lived in Long Island and I didn't. I swear. I'm going to ask her if she'll come on the show. It's freaking funny. And I listen to her. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's exactly how I used to talk. So anyways, homie, let's see. What's this? Is that a booty call? No, Lynn's got a big booty, so it's a topic.
Wow, Michelle. Ever since those words have been dropped, she's referring to the booty call quite a bit.
I'll be there, front door and center. Oh my gosh, Brian, talk creation. Oh my gosh. So Michelle's got to run, but Michelle, thank you so much. I love your spirit. I look forward to working on you on your interview. Michelle. We love you already. Thank you. So yeah, it's just
wow.
Oh man, talk about everybody's gonna be. She goes, It's gonna be my word.
Yes. Booty call.
Stop! It's not Friday yet. You're gonna. Don't even go there. You guys.
Hey, Ray, that was for you, just so you know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is just too much. So, anyways,
and it's only Thursday.
Oh my gosh, it is Thursday. We're going to start making Fridays are probably going to be the day where we have the most viewers. And Friday's going to be the day that everyone looks at for the rest of their life, I think. Especially if they watch tomorrow. But we're talking about booty stuff. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Ray's already got
what is it?
Ready.
Should we call it Lynn's Booty Bash or what?
Friday free for all. Lynn's Booty Bash.
Oh my God. Wait.
Comment about so many things, and they're going to be like, "Wait a minute, I have this confused with an episode of whatever." Well, booty call. That's good right there, Ray. That's good, but it might be a little risky for what we're talking about.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So listen,
wow, that's good, though.
What you think about, you bring about, you guys, so I don't want to bring back no more booty back, because I
would prefer not to have this be clickbait. You know what I mean? Like, what we are going to talk about is what the show's about,
Oh my gosh. But
instead of like, everybody's expecting like string bikinis and, whatever in Miami, and here we're in, Montana and Southern Illinois talking about, manifesting things. Might be a little bit different than what they think,
Oh, excuse me. I didn't mean to cough in the mic here. I apologize.
It's like, oh, where's the Rolls Royce? No, we got intermittent wipers here. I couldn't resist. I just wait, we're trying to back the booty back.
Oh my God. You guys, this is just too much. So anyways, what we're doing here right now is creating fun, creating laughter, creating the fact that, when you're in the here and now, we don't, Eckhart Tolle, I read him, and it was very, very helpful in reflecting on behaviors and how I acted and how to observe myself. And observing yourself is really good, because moving forward, you need to just acknowledge where you've been and what you don't want to continue to do to keep getting more of what you're doing. And
right.
So taking the ability to just go ahead and say, okay, I'm painting that canvas, like you said. And okay, I don't like the colors today. The next day you can change it or whatever, but you've got to start painting. You got to start creating. You got to start, doing.
And I think that they're, just like I said, in the beginning of like just setting the stage for this, is that you can't have remnants of the past. I also think that there's also needs to be a foundation or an understanding that it's like, you are going to face resistance. You are going to face potential loneliness, like where the people that you surround yourself with, until you move to a ladder, a rung of ladder to new people, you might be in a little limbo land because you're making a big transition, and it's like, you have to be willing to go against the grain.
Absolutely.
Because obviously you are the one that's guiding that path. You are relying on yourself. You're doubling down on yourself.
Right.
That can't be done with naysayers.
Right.
Will there be naysayers? Sure there will be, but you tune them out. You become desensitized from them.
Can't be done with wet wood around.
No. But you drift to other wood. How about that?
Boom. Yeah. Boom.
The new word is driftwood.
Yes. We've got that down, I think. We already got that one down. But it really comes down, you guys. Like look at me. I mean, I knew in November, or I want to keep saying November. It's not November, but I want to say it was in 2019 that I realized the vision of where I was going, that I would be impacting people all over the world, that I wouldn't hide from who I am, what I've done, my shames, and all those things. And yet I knew that it was coming to fruition. I mean, truly. And so what did I do? I was like, okay, got to get in front of the camera. Okay, I got to do this. Oh, I got to, interview some network marketers. I got to interview some millionaires, billionaires and things like that. And I've done all that. But, did I do it perfect? No. Was I a goof and was I, yeah, and I'm still not perfect on the mic, but I'm not going to, just like I changed my accent years ago, I'm not changing so many things to be mainstream media, which now I'm part of. Now go imagine that, right? I did not want to be mainstream media. Now I work for a mainstream media that outlet is off the cuff. It's totally changing the way people see things, and I'm excited because I'm going to have the ability to help build that TV network that's out there. It's just inception. So just to be a little part of that is so exciting because I have the desire to see the fact that when you're watching programming like this is why we're goofy. We talk about topics and we give you meat and potatoes, but we want to show, one, we're human, one, we're being raw, one is we're worth watching because we know that when we're like, we have several viewers now, we know that that's when we're going to act up and be goofy for you guys because we know, shit, who wants to sit there and watch something boring? I don't. I wouldn't watch it. I ain't going to lie.
Right.
So it's us being real and raw, and we love that.
Well, and the creating part is you either take ownership of it or you give permission to somebody or something else.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. There is no other option. And so, yeah, absolutely, Aaron, being brave. Main Street. We just had to talk about booty now, Ray. Won't let it go.
I know.
And you're going to have to check in with Michelle later on to still thinking that, if booty talk. She's still thinking about that later today.
But seriously.
But the thing about it is that you don't, when you're in a space of creating your life, nothing can phase you.
No.
And if it does, you figure it out and you move on.
Right. And laugh at yourself.
It's just it's a different mindset that you're willing to take life on, go all in, keep showing up, and you'll get to a place better than you could ever imagine. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Brian, I was telling you in January how I want to lose this 100 pounds. And I told you I've been trying this and that, but I was half-assed in every day, and whatever. But I mean, like a month ago, at least, I just took the hardcore that I had to break this relationship with sugar. I mean, and now I'm telling you, and then of course, Tammy Storm, she thinks she's helping me. We'll see how this works. But she tells me about this monk fruit sugar, the substitute. See, now this is the thing. It's just like I got this Slim Fast keto shake, right? Why the hell do they mess with fat girls? And I'm a fat girl, so I will say that, okay? So don't get offended if you're fat. I'm talking about me here, okay? I'm talking about me. Why the heck do they name it cake batter? Why are you gonna mess with me like that?
Right.
See, they're mentally still putting that whole sugar trigger, right? So now I ordered this monk stuff because I'd like to have some tea. I'm probably not gonna like it with this monk stuff, but there's 0 calories, it's 0 carbs, blah blah blah. I might try it, but my brain says right now, oh hell no, Lynn, you don't need to know what sweet is anymore. I just don't have any desire. And I mean, a month and a half ago, Ray Lee's birthday, I freaking had buttercream frosting, and I was like, I couldn't have it.
Yep.
And I truly believe it's because my mindset is I'm determined that this shit's going down. So I'm older now. It may take me longer, but I'm getting rid of all the crap. And so something's gonna have to leave me, flee me before you know it. I'm fluffy with you. Yeah. But that's just it. Working on your health, So what I'm saying is I may not lose this whole 100 pounds till next year or whatever, but I know that I got that mindset created.
There's also a thing in there that I just want to point out. It's one thing if you acknowledge where you are. It's another thing how you feel about yourself and your attitude about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is that looking at somebody that is is not where they want to be, right? But here's me.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot more respectable than somebody that downplays, judges, assumes at the very least.
Well, and the reason why I want to lose the weight is, I mean, it's my booties and my thighs, and I've got bad knees, bone on bone. I need to have knee surgery. So I'm like, okay, so let's look at it this way. It's not cosmetic even, but a pound is 1 pound equals 4 pounds of pressure on your knees. So, if I want to mentally say the weight I've lost and times it and sound good, so be it. Whatever game you got to do. But the point is, I'm like, the weight I lose now is the less I have to deal with after I have knee surgery,
right.
And whatever. But I mean, I say all that to say this. It's just that I have so many good reasons. I mean, I want to go travel with everybody. And I don't care if Brian sees me this heavy because he loves me. That's not the point. But gee, Lynn, how comfortable are you going to go from the airport or from here or to take those drives and walks you want to? So, I mean, don't look at the things that always bother you, but look at the things that for the change you make, look at all the positive things that can happen for it. That's what,
And look at, like, if we had a network.
And then our Sandra's here. Hi.
Woohoo! One of our loyal followers, is that, like, let's look at it this way, like we're at a networking mixer, okay? Mm-hmm. And you have somebody that is content with themselves, they're working on their health, they're not where they need to be, but they're the most flamboyant, fun person in the room. Who's gonna like somebody more? That person who's content with themselves, working on themselves, and fully vulnerable, or the person that is petite, not very well liked, condescending, all of that.
Right.
I'd much rather take the person that's just fun to be around, and they know that they're working on themselves, but their personality and who they embody is something that's going to carry on to every single person in that room. Absolutely. They're not afraid of being themselves in every moment.
Absolutely. I want to give a quick shout out to Helen. We used to play softball together, and we grew up together. So
thanks for being here, Helen.
Yeah. So I love you, Helen. Thanks for being here. But seriously, it's just creating what you can, I mean, so I'm a has-been as far as being a former athlete and all these other things, bodybuilding and all these things. But it's like, that was that. This is now, I look at the blessing that I get to learn how to do things a different way and to have compassion. So my experiences, and I mean, I didn't professionally compete as a bodybuilder because I was ashamed of my body. And so, now I'm like, I still have I won't get in a bathing suit because I got a lot of cellulite looking around right now, but that's my own thing. I don't, I let it go. It don't stop me. It don't stop me from doing the things that I want to do. And that's what I mean. When you have the compassion to do what you want to do, don't give a shit who's in the room.
Well,
do it.
And when you're creating your life, you're immune and desensitized by what anybody thinks about you because it's on your terms. It just bounces off.
Yeah.
Like, you hear them, but you don't hear them because you're driven.
Yeah,
you see something that nobody else sees, and you're the only one that understands it.
Absolutely. And that's what I mean. When you start creating, something really happens to you. I mean, like I planted the seed in January about my mission to get healthier. Thank you. My mission is to see myself. I'm starting to love myself with my, impurities here, and the fact that I know I have great value. I mean, there's many times I didn't feel like I had great value. I had given up on myself so many times. And that's why, and I always joke, right? I go, yeah, when I lose weight, you usually lose weight going from up to down, up to down. So obviously now you know why my ass got so big. By the time it was time to lose it on the booty, I'd done quit that diet.
Here we go with the booty talk again.
Yeah. But seriously,
Michelle's
you can't fix what you can't admit.
She's dancing in space.
Listen, you can't fix what you can't admit. And I admit I got the biggest butt going on. I'm not looking for the Guinness World Record, but I have a big booty right now. It's so funny because of the LA Tribune, I have to go see a photographer and take, headshots for a lot of different promo shits coming on. I'm like, here you are. looking at it with yourself
Can
again.
we just do this portrait? Like,
They're like, no, we need it to the waist. I'm like, I still got a lot of potential there, but I still got chunky arms. I'm like, I'm gonna be getting a hold of. I kid you not. I'm gonna get a hold of my friend Forbes to say, I need one of your slim things, man. And you know what? She better hope that shit really works, because I'm gonna call her out of my show.
hey, media director, can I submit a Photoshop file, please?
No, man, I gotta be vulnerable and real. That's what, you know, but it is cool because it reminds me that in November of 2019, I was on a stage, man, and I'm looking all big and whatnot, and I'm standing there in all my glory. It might as well have been a bodybuilding competition, but you know what? I had something to say. You know what? I had something to give, and I still do, and I've been going ever since. And my life has changed so much. And you know, COVID. I had a part-time job for my hotel, you know, and luckily because of my health issues, I couldn't go back. And, you know, because of all that stuff, I mean, it was really hard, you guys. I went from August till now, not getting paid at all. If I'm being vulnerable, finally getting my PUA, finally getting my pandemic on. I mean, my credit cards are behind. I mean, you know, shit happens, but I had to break down to have a breakthrough. I had to know that I could live with less. I had to know my value. I had to know that I didn't have to, because I stay home most of the time. I couldn't make my life so busy and adventurous. I'm freaking busier now. And I was sticking to a job that I shouldn't have been at. What a blessing.
Well, it kind of refers to, in a way, like the magic pill, right? Where it's just like, okay, a magic pill is going to cover a Band-Aid, but it's like, oh, you know, it's kind of like when somebody feels like their life is really bad until they're, you know, near death or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I can say that it's like, okay, getting caught in traffic, not getting a business deal, dealing with petty affairs with people or whatever. It's like, man, that you don't know the depth until you're there of where things can go. And then once you realize what's important to you, nothing else phases you.
Absolutely.
Like you have an understanding that other people may not have, right? And you're okay to talk about it. So it's like, if you can be vulnerable in every moment and continue to deepen what that looks like, what's going to phase you in life? Nothing. So Helen says it's things that we are objectified in a negative way by how we look on the outside, yet many fail to look at themselves and are the first to criticize themselves constructively. Embrace yourself daily, be happy, and live your life without caring what. Yeah, absolutely, Helen. I mean, some of it blows my doors off is that I gravitate towards wild, fun, loud people.
And here I am.
You know, but here's the thing is that if it was a matter of somebody that was like, oh my God, I don't look that great. And no, their true expression, their true self-expression emerges. And they don't care about the things that are holding them back. Right.
And that's
and you know, and that also touches on, you either like me for all that I am or all that I'm not, period.
That's right.
That's it.
And that's the cool thing is I like walking in the room and say, okay, so you saw my big fat ass. Can we go on now? Can we have a talk? Can we just, you know, and I mean, it just, so yeah, well, you know, it really is, it's one of those things where just create, every time I acknowledge what people see. And then I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm still standing here. But I'm not one of those big girls that like to just show, you know, body pictures. But now I'm part of the media. Now I got to freaking be all that model stuff.
Well, and then how real are those things? It's like, okay, if somebody's gonna make excuses about how somebody looks and not what's up here and inside their heart.
Well, you know what?
Is it really even necessary that they're in your life?
So check this out. This is where I feel like I'm a poster child for, so to speak. This is the way I turn the negative to the positive for myself, is saying, you know what, Lynn? Yeah, you don't want to have body pictures of you right now. And yeah, you're in part of the media. But you know what? I realized, Lynn, you need to do that for a girl. Because when I look back, what am I going to do? Just have good pictures of me when I look good and not let people know later that I can relate to them? I'm like, shit, I'll put all my fat to glory out there. One, to show, look, I'm doing it because you too can do it. One, you too can do it. Two, that when you see me thinner, you could say that when I'm giving you advice, I ain't telling you shit that I haven't been through 3 times
Correct.
of living 100 pounds. So that allows me to get, so where's my excuse, Lynn? Where's your excuse now? There is no freaking excuse. I'm going to have to do pictures, and I'll probably have the side view with the damn booty looking. But you know what? I'm doing that for many reasons. I'm laughing at myself because I realize, look at what I did. I didn't get in my way, and now I'm living a dream life. That's the way you got to look at it. That's the way you got to do is, yeah, you know, you just got to let people know who you are. I mean, the outside, they don't see your spirit. They see what the outside is. They judge you by the outside. Well, then let them judge you on the outside, but let them among everybody else say, well, why the hell is she there? Well, maybe get to know her. Maybe you'll find out why she's there. You know, and that's what I love is knocking that normal thing that we consider the normalcy. There is no freaking normalcy. Have you heard about COVID last year? Hello, McFly. You know? You know, Brian, you bring the shit out of me. You know, you know, it just, you bring it out to me, Brian. I'm just so thankful that you're my co-host. I'm just so thankful that you're so loving and transparent. I can't thank you enough. And I've always wanted somebody to be supportive of me that I wasn't intimately involved with. And here you are, just somebody that knows my heart, knows my passion, and knows me, and I can be me with you. And that's why I love doing this show with you. I can't thank you enough.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. And I'm glad to be on this journey with you and everybody that's watching. Is that the type of relationship and connection we have is not everywhere, right? Where you're able to be brash, you're not doing it in a harmful way. It's just that I'm no nonsense. You're no nonsense. We tell it like it is. And that's how I was raised. That's how you were raised. And if you don't like it, that's okay. But we're gonna give it to you straight.
Right.
And it's awesome because then there, you know, it fascinates me. It's just like, oh, I don't like their tone, or I don't like what they said, and it's just like, well, is there truth in what they said? Does it make sense? Can you use what they said? Yeah. Well, then disregard the tonality for the message.
Or did they trigger something in you that you need to look in the mirror? Because, you know, I am a visionary. I go ahead and I channel people. I channel what they're spewing out, and they're like, well, I already know that, and I don't want to talk about it. Well, then you're stuck.
Well, and we're the type of people that we're not cheerleaders.
Yeah, no.
You know, we're not going to pat anybody on the butt and say you're doing great, but you have all this evidence for something else that you want.
No.
You want to be more fulfilled. You want to be more content in life. Well, we all got work to do. It's just a matter of, are you going to do it or not?
Right.
And if we can take the, I don't know, if we can remove the blinders, you know, and take those glasses off that you don't want to look at for what your life can be, go.
You know, and our lives are the whole thing of why you should start manifesting. Because I'll tell you what, if we didn't take the actions we did and even joined a course like live stream and get connected, and we decided to have a message with each other, I can tell you, rest assured that there was no way I would think that I'm talking to a guy that we're going to do a show with. That was like, but it came out of my mouth. I was like, we should do a show. And he's like, yeah, we should. Like we just saw that it was just obvious that we both had things to say, and we just had to get our message out. You know, it's just beautiful.
Well, and it's like, let's take those 3 words at the end of our topic today. If you create your life, you put yourself in control of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you let life create you, you have no ownership, no control. But then the 2 biggest things that you can't blame anybody, and you have no excuses.
Right.
Which one do you want to have? Do you want to be in full control, having a say in the matter, or do you want to just kind of be willy-nilly, and then years go by and you're unfulfilled and you don't know what to do?
And Ray, go ahead.
So does manifesting a dream create a life?
Well, you know, we're playing on words here. That's one thing Brian and I were talking about. We're playing on words, you know. The voice in me said something about manifesting because that's what some people realize. But creating, we don't care if you say tomato or tomato. We're still talking about a tomato. I mean, like, we're talking about something, you know, that's got labels are labels. I mean, and interpretations are interpretations. Some people use big words to articulate something that's just like a microphone or whatever, you know?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
so speaking of, this is vulnerability here. I'm going to explain. So, so I remember that I have herniated discs in my neck, right? And I went to go to the emergency, or I went to the clinic to go get an injection in it. I go to the counter and I tell this guy, yeah, I'm here. This is my name, and I'm here to have an injection in my neck. He goes, oh yeah, the cervical blah 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 blah, right? And I looked at him. I got stuck on the word cervix. I'm telling you, right? So I get at this lady. I go, I'm not here for my cervix. It was her cervical spine. I didn't know that offhand. So again, it's interpretation, people. But it was just like, this guy's talking about his cervix. Holy shit.
I'm here for cervix surgery. Anybody? Can you help me with that?
So I say all that to say this. People get stuck on words. People get stuck on what they think they hear, and then they stop listening. They truly do. And with that happening, you have to realize that the same thing goes with your life. If you don't stop thinking of what you thought of your life and what your life could be, how many times you've heard of successful people with these freaking sad ass stories?
Yeah.
That didn't come out of thin air, people.
Right.
We want you to create. We want you to think different. And different can be whatever it is to you, but we want you to think.
Yeah. Well, don't think too much about it, because if you get caught into thinking too much, and I have previous experience of this analysis paralysis.
You won't do shit. You won't do shit. That's right.
So that's why whatever words you use, be in motion and never stop. You know, just like somebody that hasn't exercised in a while, or you haven't ate well or whatever, it takes a little bit to get that ball rolling, or whatever device or whatever you want to use. But once it gets rolling, then you want to keep it rolling because of how you feel and the difference it's making, you know? So don't get caught up in the thinking about it. Don't let the words get in the way of what we're really telling you, you know, to consider here. Yep. Is that you're either in control or you're not, and you have a choice in the matter. But whatever, I know it's not our action step, but I want to make a request of everybody.
No, because
if there's something that is holding you back in life that you're not complete with, whatever it is, as however long it's been there, if you need help, Lynn and I are here to help you, right? Or at least guide you.
Absolutely.
Because we want to make sure that no matter how long it's been, that you get that resolved. Mm-hmm. Whatever it takes, you know, because here's the thing, no matter where you are and how painful it might be, you got more life ahead of you. What would you rather have? More life free of that, or to just sit there and fester in it? That's your choice. But I can tell you what, like by Lynn and I, is that overcoming your demons is not easy. But if you do it, what is a life of abundance and open for you to carve out what it is? What's that word to you?
Right.
There should be no number, because it's your life.
Yeah. And that's, you know, I've always looked ahead when I've been in a bad situation, and only looking ahead and not even being totally clear of what's ahead, except that I always said to myself, it's okay. Life's going to be better later. Yeah. It's okay. Life's going to be better later. And I didn't focus on the shitty moments now, because the shitty moments would only give me more shitty moments. Yeah. So I mean, look at the time. The time just goes, Brian. We have a great time here. We really, really, let's see. Oh, Helen says,
love to both you and Brian. Continue to create your life's positive with grace, chapter by chapter at your pace. I've got to run an errand now. Have an awesome day, everyone. Aww. Helen, thank you for being for watching our show, and also though being vulnerable with with all of us and your contribution. We really appreciate your words.
Yeah, we love what we're building here. We love our friendships, and
so just a couple reminders is that for tomorrow's show, this will be our third week in a row where third week? Yeah, Yeah, wait, or second week.
No, this is second week. Second week with the guest.
Okay, so it's our second Friday. So the way it works is that we take throughout the whole week, in the week of evolving, we've taken words and phrases that speak to the whole week. And on Friday, we'll have a guest host, which will be Pamela Aubrey. So if you're looking for lots of laughter, we're going to be up on stage. We're going to just banter words back and forth, and we're going to do it as quick as possible so we can get through as many as possible. So kind of recapping the week, all improv style, and to send you off to a great weekend. So join us tomorrow for the recapping, the improv of a week of evolution. And then, Lynn, you want to pop up the action step for everybody to consider today?
I didn't stick an action step in there.
Oh, you did? Okay, no problem.
I'm a bad girl.
That's okay. She's bad. Booty talk. Booty talk.
Which hey, we'll close out with that. Tomorrow's off, free for all, anything goes about evolving. I just stuck that in there real quick. But what would you consider an action step real quick off the cuff?
An action step I would say is like what is let's start tomorrow, or what is one thing small that you're going to complete, right? Maybe it's something around the house. Maybe it's an indifference you have with somebody. What is one thing you're going to complete by tomorrow? And for me, I'm the type of person, and I'm very conscious of this, and I'm working on it, is that I open up projects everywhere, right? So I've got 20% here, 15% here, whatever. I'm getting rid of that. Anything I'm going to do is to completion. I'm not going to go back to things anymore.
Okay, so cool.
If I carve out a space of time, I'm going to make sure that I get that done so that, no, not all projects are that way, but I know enough about myself is that's stressful.
Yeah.
That's exhausting to have all this stuff open and none of it's complete.
Which, by the way, because that's how I have been evaluating a lot of things. The fact that you're having that conversation to yourself that, this is stressful. Is this really how I want to do this? Or am I going to just put all my effort? But it's not until you get where you feel like you're not comfortable with that, will you change it? So I'm really glad to see that, that that's what you want to work on.
Yeah.
Next.
So the action step is for all of our listeners, and we thank you so much for your loyalty, and for anybody catching the replay, is what is one thing you're going to complete by tomorrow that'll open you up, right? You might not be there yet, but you're making strides towards it. And that's what we need to do to get to where we want to be. So what's one thing you're going to take action on to complete? It's been nagging you and you just haven't done anything with it. We'd like to hear from you in the comments about what you're doing. So absolutely, Sandra, thanks for being here.
Well, we love you guys. It's time for us to go. Have a good one, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Stop. I'm going to hang. Let's see how fast, because he's going to do it. Go ahead.
Nope.